Good afternoon and welcome to my next episode of Eat, Smoke, Drink. Today I am reviewing the Talisker 8-year-old special Diageo 2018 release, 59.4%. There you go, 59.4%. That is actually very ridiculous. For a distillery bottling release to be 59.4 is absolutely whoppingly huge. Now, you're probably thinking 8 years old, that's very young. Well, I've reviewed many whiskies in this channel before. I don't judge it by age because age is not always a determining factor, but at 59.4, we'll see what the whiskey is like. A little bit of a fact about Talisker. Talisker is an island whiskey. So the island region, there's only about 7 distilleries in there. There's not many, and Talisker is the Isle of Skye, so it's a bunch of, it's called the islands, this area, because it's a lot of islands. I believe from memory they tried to absorb that into the Highland region, but actually the island distilleries are so different to Highland that it's, you know, it deserves its own area. So they've retained it. It's an island region, and not Ireland, but island region. And there's about 7 distilleries there, and this is one of them. And so it'll be interesting to see what it's like. Now, another fact about Talisker is they still use worm tubs. They still use worm tubs. Worm tubs are very old-fashioned. Worm tubs are basically, back in the day, it's a relatively rudimentary way of condensing whiskey, but because the way it is, they couldn't make the pipe, or they don't make the pipe so small, and so they cool it in these tubs with these thick pipes, and some of the alcohol actually, it doesn't get refined as much, which means that you get heavier elements in there. Heavier elements, heavier components, heavier flavor. So, when you're having whiskies that use worm tubs, they're usually distinctly stronger, and a meatiness to them, or like a body to them that is unusual. Mortlock, Glenalgan, Talisker. So we'll see how it goes. The notes a nice perfume to it. Now Talisker is known to be a little bit smoky and peaty sometimes, but I can't get too much peat out of there. But then when I say can't get too much peat out of there, I'm not getting your typical peat of Isla peat. I am getting a smokiness. What I'm smelling is a really pleasant cedar. I'm getting a cedar smell to it. Almost like a cigar humidor cedar. And now I say that, actually what I'm smelling is not quite the cedar, it's a tobacco leaf. I'm getting tobacco leaf in there, tannins, earthiness, definitely salinity. I'm getting like a gravel, a river gravel. I'm getting wet stones. Quite unusual. And it's hard to explain. I don't have such a meatiness, but I do have a heaviness to this whiskey. It is a very heavy smelling whiskey. I'm getting some raisins, cinnamon, a little spice. Try it with water. Look, you know what? With water, there's not much difference really. Slightly more sweetness, but like I'd say I'm not getting much difference in there. The tobacco notes are subsiding a little bit with water, but not really much difference. So on the nose, I'm going to declare that negligible difference. Let's give it a sip. Oh, holy cow. Ooh. Ooh. Without water, that is fiery. Ooh. Now, the interesting thing is, it's fiery, it's burny, It's very volatile, it's heavy, it's oily, it's salty. It's just a real mouthful. It's like chewing a steak. Oh, it's heavy, it's fatty, but it's not lingering as heavy as some Islers. And I hate to compare the two, but I do get that peat in there, but the peat is more of a soot and ash as opposed to oil and resin. I'm getting more soot and ash. I'm getting more kind of like a slight sulfur note to it as well, and I'm quite sensitive to sulfur. I'm definitely getting a sulfur note to that. I'm not getting new make spirit though. So it's young, and sometimes when you get young whiskey like this, you get that new make spirit. So even though it's 59%, I'm not getting that new make spirit bitterness and astringency and dryness in my mouth. But it is a robust flavor. For most people, all they're gonna taste is a burn. I'm used to drinking cask strength, but even I would say that is a little bit of a burn there. It's just it hides the character of the whiskey, but it's definitely full bodied. I can taste that complexity in there, but it's still very burny. Let's give it a go with a few drops of water. Okay, hands down, put some water in there. Hands down, put some water in there, because water gets that alcohol down dramatically. See, now I'm getting flavor. I'm getting a cola, and I swear I don't have Coke in this right now, but I'm getting a cola. Very pleasant taste. That dog is snoring in the background there while I'm drinking whiskey on a rainy day. How cliche is that? I'm getting brown sugar, molasses. Now with the water, ironically enough, with the water you do get more of a new make spirit, but the trade-off you have is that you get more complexity coming through. You get more coming through because, well, you've got, you know, you've diluted the alcohol, but you get more. You get more new make spirit, but you get more complexity. You get more spice. You get more cinnamon. I'm getting a bit more oiliness coming through as well. Although both of them are pretty damn oily, but it's very oily. But it's now if I stumble like this, it's because I don't rehearse these tastings, so I have to think about it live. But it's extremely volatile. I mean, the high alcohol, sure, but it's extremely volatile. Put it in the mouth and it's almost like it just evaporates. I mean, I've had alcohol levels this high, but this just evaporates in the mouth and just diffuses in your tongue. And I can't stop salivating. I'm getting saltiness, minerality. I'm getting a tannin. I'm getting some cola. I'm getting heavy soot now from the watered sample. It's a very nice whiskey. Would I buy this again? Yes, I would. I definitely would buy this again. This is a pleasurable drink, and it's a slightly challenging drink, but also very pleasurable. In terms of cigar matchings, I would go for a mid-range. In terms of heaviness, I would go for a Padron because I just think it'll suit it. I'll go for a La Flor Dominicana, something that's relatively savoury, not overly sweet. That's quite strong and can hold its own, because this is very heavy. It's an extremely heavy whiskey. The finish is long. It's lingering with 59.4%. I'd be disappointed if it wasn't. Then what else is in there? And it's very lingering. It's long. Definitely just there's no gaps in the flavour. So thank you very much. I want to thank Sunny from Hillcrest Bottle O here in Auckland, New Zealand, for giving me the sample and sponsoring this particular review. And see you again till next time. Please hit subscribe if you like my videos and give me that thumbs up as well. Thank you.